what would you say are some of the unseen pressures that men have to face and have to, navigate in their careers, especially the ones that maybe they don't feel safe, to talk about?
Yeah, I think this is a very important conversation, and it's a conversation that I'm also very interested in. I mean, learning a lot about how to articulate it. So when you think of the workplace and the pressures that the modern man is facing, I'll just go back and say, first of all, women in time have been in a way disadvantaged. And the reason why was, the reason why there are lots of reasons, but like we lived in a world where people believed in muscle. So if you're very strong, you were given opportunity. But now that we live in an intellectual age, in the modern Western world, women are leading the charge, and it should be like that because that's what it is. Like, that's how it should be. Like, we should bring as many brains as possible to the marketplace. And if it happens that this is going to come from a lady or a guy, it doesn't matter. Just bring the brains to the marketplace, and we are happy to see that. What has then happened is, even outside of the workplace, so if your personality was built on being a breadwinner, if you are not financially providing in your relationship, in your family, at your house, even within like siblings, if you're not like in that position, you feel like you think that you do not have anything to give. And that's one thing you have to first of all demystify, because a lot of people are going through that right now. Women are now like financially independent, and some people are feeling threatened about that. And I would say that if you're feeling threatened, what you then need to do is you need to focus on yourself and see, what can I do? So if I cannot use finance to be my anchor point, how can I bring more value to this conversation, to this space? So that's where your vision comes as a person. That's where your learning comes. You focus on learning a lot. That's also where you have to have good and positive role models that show what masculinity in the modern world looks like. And that's like the foundation of it. Like, people need to understand what masculinity in the modern world looks like. To then go into the workplace, one area that I've seen that men struggle is asking for help. So also, because you've built this into your persona, you think like you must be able to do everything by yourself. People don't want to ask for help. And asking for help is one of the foundational things that help people to guide you. This is why you should have a mentor. You should have like people speaking for you in the rooms that you don't have access to. I'll give you a simple playbook that has worked for me. When you get into an organization, especially if it's a multinational, even if it's a mid-level organization, as fast as possible, in about 3 months, if they have a mentorship program, sign up. If they have all those support systems program, just sign up. If they don't have, look for 3 or 4 people in the organization and let them become your mentors, let them become your coach or your guy. And they don't have to be in your department. In fact, they should not be in your department. And how do you do this? You schedule calls with them once in a quarter, once in 2 months, and you guys just talk about what you're going through at work. Sometimes you can talk about personal things, but of course, if it's an official relationship, keep it official and formal. But talk about the things you're going through, the things you've learned, areas where you think you want to learn more. What do they think about the things you've said? And just hear them out. And of course, go into those meetings prepared. Something that I'm beginning to also advocate for more, because we come from like sub-Saharan Africa, from Nigeria, is when you talk about parental leave, right? The workplace is beginning to be fair to women and all of that. And we love that. But up until the woman wants to have a child, then all of a sudden, she's going to take some time off work. And when she comes back, she's going to have to catch up. And when she comes back, by the way, she has a toddler or a baby she's taking care of. And you are saddling her with that responsibility. And it's going to affect her performance at work. Why are we saying she has to be the one to have all those leave? Why don't we make it possible that paternal leave becomes a big deal? So it's parental leave. So as a society, it will mean that both mom and dad of the child take time off. They can say, as a family, you have 12 months. As a family, you have 18 months. But the father must also take time off so that the lady is not the only one going out of it. Because what happens is, if you are in your house and both of you are working and both of you are at level 4, if you take 18 months to take care of your baby and the man does not take that time off, just by law of compounding and doing things, the person is going to grow in their career because they have time to invest more. Right. And even when you come back, you still have a baby you're taking care of, so you're still losing time at work. But if after that 18 months, we both take 9 months, so that way it balances things out, so that the woman doesn't feel like, oh my God, I have to catch up, because both of us were responsible for raising leaders into the society and raising balanced individual. And I think it also then sets positive examples for these kids too. So it's like, it's a very nuanced, layered conversation. If you want to limit, and I deliberately did not limit it to the office space, because I feel like it's a broader conversation.
Yes.
And it's still ongoing, and people need to find their balance in it and find their way forward. But yeah, I'm happy that you brought it up, and it's something that I'm actively and passionate about.